Hey, you guys, this is the Couplings Fire podcast. Here's a couple of things you might need to know, or maybe you just forgot. I'm Taylor, a volunteer firefighter and also a firewife to my favorite firefighter. Join me as I talk anything and everything fire related. I don't claim to be an expert, I just love to talk fire, and I'm not afraid to get into real and deep discussions. Everything I say is my own opinion and does not reflect the opinions of any agency or organization I am associated with. Let's get on with the episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Couplings Fire podcast. I'm actually not using a mic today because I wanted this audio to be as close as possible to what you're going to be listening to for the rest of the episode. So this is weird. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, this is the very first time I am doing full video. This is freaking awesome. It's so different. If you're listening, I encourage you to jump onto YouTube to actually watch this all play out. It's really cool, the interactions I get to have with these people. Okay, so wait, what's happening? I haven't even introduced that yet. So you guys know I've talked about it way too much. I went to the Revolutionary Fire Tactics at the lake this past weekend at Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. It was a blast. It was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. It was so cool. Well, while I was there, and you'll hear in one of these interviews, Jeremy Sanders from Crew First Culture and Tara Cornett from Flame Decon convinced me, hey, you should really do some interviews with some people while you're here. I wasn't planning on doing it. I was like, I don't know, I'm here for other stuff. Why mix podcast learning? And you know what? I decided to go ahead and take that leap and do little mini podcast episodes with a few different people around. It was the best experience I could ever imagine. So that is what I have for you today. All of these mini episodes that I recorded. There are way too many names to list. I will introduce them as they come up in each section here. Now, forewarning, when it comes to getting into these, the sound quality is not the best. I was not planning on doing this. This was very last minute. We set up in the middle of the vendor hall, so it's kind of loud background noise. That's another reason to watch on YouTube, because I'm hoping that we can do the closed captioning on there so that you guys can be able to follow along in case it gets hard to hear. And then there may be cuts and sometimes kind of randomly because there were announcements happening or somebody jumped in to talk really quick because they didn't know we were recording. So yes, there's a lot of weird things happening with this episode, right? With the cuts in and out, but it's still really good. I really enjoyed these talks. I think you are going to enjoy these talks. And if you haven't heard of some of these people I've talked to on this thing here, you're going to get a chance to like see more into them. And spoiler alert, we're going to get most of these people, if not all, on for very full episodes at some point in the future. So I'm excited for it. This is just a taste of what you guys have coming up for the rest of this year, for next year, for the rest of this podcast, wherever it goes. I'm excited. Without further ado, let's get on to the episode. So I am here with Dave Mellen and Ben Burbridge from Valor Fire Training. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going. It's fun.
Thank you for sitting down with me to talk about, I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but it's going to be a quick roll down of something. So what are you two doing here at Hutchinson Lake?
Ben, what are you doing here at the Revolutionary Fire Tactics?
Causing problems. No, we're attending some classes. We're teaching a little bit. We're hanging out with our friends and enjoying the weekend at the lake.
So what are you guys teaching?
So we're helping out Sean Duffy and Build Your Culture. We've teamed up with them to provide the surgical versus survival class.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be our cadre with their cadre in order to kind of bring different perspectives.
Perfect.
Put in for the raffle.
Yeah, we got a raffle.
So next year, when you guys come, put it for the raffle.
Yeah, you always have good stuff in the raffle. It's the best stuff.
This is-
All right. Okay, so a little commercial break there. All right, so you guys said you're taking classes. What classes did you get to sit in on any today?
The keynote this morning was really good.
You know,
I loved it.
Yeah,
it was good.
Okay, so I did not realize. So I actually got a chance to talk to Mike Lombardo last night. I had no idea who he was because I've never seen a picture of him before.
Right.
And I was sitting next to him drinking a beer, and I'm like, hey. This morning when I went in there, I'm like, what?
yeah. Super down to earth guy.
Down to earth guy. I would have
He is super humble. He's hilarious. Like his stories are so funny. But the biggest thing is, I mean, he is nice to everyone. Like I was watching him interact with some of the staff members last night at our dinner, and he was just, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. And he was super humble, super nice. And then watching him get up on stage today and give his keynote, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a 3-hour keynote, but it seems like it.
No, it did not. It went by super quick. Like after you sit down, like, oh, we must be like at like 10:30 or something.
Yeah.
No, we're at noon.
Great speaker, great keynote speaker.
You know that somebody has a great message when you just have no, like, you lose track of time. And like, well, that tends to happen with your guys' class. Whenever I attend a Valor, the time just goes. I have no idea. Like, what?
We try to keep it entertaining, but I mean, you have to be able to keep everybody's attention, and that's where I really liked Chief Lombardo's message.
Yeah.
When Mike gets up there and he starts talking, he'll go down one rabbit hole, and the next thing you know, you're 3 rabbit holes down, and you're like, wait, how the hell did we get here?
Exactly.
I mean, it's very entertaining.
I always thought training happened best in between fits of laughter. Keep people entertained, make them laugh a little bit, they pay attention a little bit more. It really helps get your message across so you can keep them relaxed and happy.
I love that. And it works so well.
Yeah, it does. It makes people feel like they're at home a little bit.
Yeah.
They aren't stressed. They're having a good time. They can really learn and absorb what you're trying to get across to them.
Well, and they're really able to like figure out that they can actually make mistakes at that point.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So.
absolutely. Ben Burbridge, everybody, he'll be here all weekend.
Yeah. You brought me along for the comedic relief.
All right.
So what have you been doing?
I've been taking classes. I've been taking a couple classes. I have a full weekend full of classes, not hot classes. Next year, I can't wait. But I was sitting in on Anthony Rowett's class this morning. This afternoon. I sat in on Jeremy Sanders' class this afternoon. They were top notch. I'm pretty sure I took about 6 pages front and back of notes in Anthony's class. So I mean, it was extremely knowledgeable. Extremely knowledgeable. And I've got another one coming up with him either tomorrow or Sunday too. So it'll be a good one.
That's
but
awesome.
the worst part about this conference, there is not a negative, but if I had to put a negative, it's the fact that I can't take every single class that I had to actually choose.
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier. We're teaching Sunday. There's a class on Sunday. That figures.
Yeah.
The class I really want to go to is on Sunday, and we're teaching all day.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a good sign. That's a good thing to have happen. That's a good problem to have. So.
It's a great problem to have. Oh man. So thank you guys for stopping by. I said I'd keep this short and sweet, so we'll leave it short and sweet. Is there anything else you guys would like to say or anything?
No, I love what you're doing. We were actually talking about this earlier. So, I mean, obviously when we first met you, you were just like this bubbly ball of fire, and you're about, you were a dragon slayer.
I feel like I haven't lost that bubbliness.
No, you've never lost the bubbliness, but you were like this little dragon slayer that could. And then now you've progressed into this, like, you have your own podcast and you're doing all these amazing things. And so, like, him and I were talking, we were like, oh my God, Taylor's all grown up. She's doing all these cool things.
And
so
you guys started that.
I don't know if we started. I don't know if we want to claim that. I'm sorry, Chris. But, it's just cool to see you, like, doing your thing. And it's just you come into your own. And so we're both really proud of you. Everybody that we've talked to that has seen you in our classes is proud of you. So we just wanted to let you know.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness, I don't want to say that.
Gotcha.
Yep. I've lost all sort of, whatever the word is. Poise. There we go. It's gone. It's gone. But thank you.
For sure.
Amazing. So if people want to check out Valor Fire Training, how do they do that?
So they can go on valorfiretraining.com. They can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah.
We have YouTube. We have Twitter, LinkedIn, podcasts on all the major podcast
You've got a
platforms.
few new ones out too I haven't listened to yet.
We do. So I took a little hiatus, and now we're back in. I've actually got like 3 more that are in post-production, and we're going to try and roll them out like once every week.
Oh, score.
Consistently. We just kind of put them off for it. Ben is actually getting ready to start a new podcast with me.
What?
We don't. Yep. It's this is actually
Nice.
This is actually a couplings
Oh, come on,
podcast
hey.
first. So he's going to be a co-host of a podcast. We're going to talk about leadership and moving up through the fire service. So it'll be me and him talking about just leadership. And,
Give some people to think about.
it'll be good.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
That is so cool.
more to come on that.
breaking news. Like, just
Breaking news. You're the only one we've told so far.
Really?
Yep, you're the first one.
Oh, score.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Heard it here first.
Yeah.
And you guys will be good at that. You guys will really good at that.
If you remember the two older guys in the Muppets that sat up in the mezzanine that like argue back and forth.
I feel like I should know their names, but
That's me and Hal. Nobody knows their names.
No, I used to
They're
know them.
just the two old guys.
Yeah, two old guys.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, so it's going to be me and him arguing and bickering back and forth about leadership.
It'll be the best.
Yeah. Good time.
I can't wait to listen to that. That's awesome. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys throughout the conference. I'm not going to be the end, but thank you so much.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Taylor.
All right. So I am here with, I'm just going to call the Water Thieves. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Honestly, I'm going to be very, very opaque with you guys, and I do not know enough about this quite yet. And it's another world that I want to get into so much, and I want to know more. And the next time I have this class in my area, I'm going to definitely try to come see it. So how's the weekend? How's it going? Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Fantastic. So I'm Andy Soccodato. I'm the owner and lead instructor for the Water Thieves LLC. We're a training-based organization that focuses on water supply operations and trying to maximize the most out of your equipment, whether it's from a draft or from a hydrant. So,
that is really cool.
Absolutely.
So how did you come across the idea to put this all together?
So in my experience, I started my fire service career up in New Jersey, and then I got hired with the Charlottesville, Virginia Fire Department in 2011. I was there for 9 years, and then I moved on from there. But when I was going through the pump operation side of my training, I learned that there was a huge disconnect between like what the book says and what really happens in real life. And I was like, okay, well, why is there a disconnect? So I got to goof around and play around, and it's like, man, there's a whole lot more than what people think, and just deep dived into it to be the best engineer that I could, and realized that there are aspects of it that a lot of people don't understand.
Oh, yeah.
And started teaching those finer points, and now I turned into a business. So
Oh, fantastic. From my perspective, what I see in the fire service is too many people, as myself included, relying on the trucks to do everything. And just, okay, here's your intake, here's your output. That's good enough. We get what we get.
absolutely.
So, I mean, how much have you seen? How much resistance have you got to what you're trying to teach? I mean, what has your journey been?
So the resistance is interesting because, we go and do a lecture, and I can tell that a lot of times we do a lecture and people are like, that's bullshit. That ain't gonna work, right? And really, when people get out and do it and they see it, it's a totally different game. But the problem that I've noticed in fire service seems to be when it comes to water supply and pump operations is that it's not a sexy topic.
No, it's not.
It's not, BES, it's not forcible entry, it's not stretching a line from the fire out, but it's probably one of the most misunderstood topics that we have to get done on every fire we go to. And people don't think it's sexy until it is. And when we start moving stupid amounts of water and actually really showing people like what you can actually do with these pieces of machinery, it's a game changer. Right? And it really opens their eyes up. Most people don't realize what their pumpers are capable of until you actually get down and dirty and show what they can do.
So definitely when you take this class, if you're going to take the lecture, for sure take the hands-on.
Oh,
well.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So typically what we do is, we offer this class a lot of different ways. We try and make sure that we are setting ourselves up to help our customers. So if there's something specific the customer wants to do, by all means, we'll tailor the class to do that. But at this conference, we're doing something a little bit unique. We're kind of covering drafting operations and hydrant operations. I just finished my 4-hour lecture this afternoon.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we'll do one day with one group of skills. They'll get 4 hours of draft and 4 hours of hydrant. And then Sunday we will repeat it for the next group.
Oh, so, nice. Okay, so that way they can kind of attend some of the other classes.
Correct. They can.
That is such a good idea to set it up that way.
Yeah, it's great because they get to attend other classes here at the conference. But what we're trying to do is it's kind of a real crash course in all the stuff we do, because normally our whole class covers at least 2 days.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're trying to cover a week's worth of material in 8 hours, right?
Definitely
So,
pros and cons.
yeah, absolutely. So we're really going to be hitting the finer points. And if anybody follows and sees the pictures later on, what we're doing this weekend, you'll see that, it's really the highlights of how to move a lot of big water.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking.
Absolutely.
How can people find you?
So you can find us on Facebook, The Water Thieves. You can just type that in. Instagram at The Water Thieves. And then if anybody wants to email, has specific questions, or want to, schedule a class, you can go on thewaterthieves.com or email us at thewaterthieves@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it, Taylor. Thank you.
Let's do it. Hey, everybody. I am here with some guests. This is amazing. I've heard about them for a year now. It's been crazy. And I think I've been wanting to do a podcast for almost a year now with you guys. And eventually we will do a full podcast. But for today,
we love it.
Today is just a small sampling. So I have Firewife Life.
Yes.
Go ahead, introduce yourselves, ladies.
I'm Kathy Edwards. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am the co-founder with my friend here of Firewife Life.
Tracy McCart, Managing Director of Firewife Life LLC.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right into it to not waste anyone's time here, because I know we all have things we want to do and like people want to see and who's we have to run. But you guys have been doing something amazing at conferences and something amazing here. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So Kathy and I met as our husbands were going to conferences. We had seen each other, didn't think much of it. I'm out on the beach, she's doing whatever. And finally we were like, listen, we see each other at all these conferences, a slew of women that we see at all of these conferences. Why are we not getting together and bonding and having sisterhood and doing all the things that wives should be doing, especially in the fire service? We know what it takes to be a firewife.
Yes.
So her and I were like, got hooked up.
We called each other.
Exchanged numbers, became great friends, continued to go to conferences, and then one afternoon on a deck overlooking the ocean in Pensacola, we kind of started this whole thing, and it has exploded ever since. We have over 1,000 members.
From all over. We
All
have
over.
Italy, Guam.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
goodness.
think we have almost every state represented. Not quite, but I think we have almost every state represented. Yeah.
And we
That is
just,
incredible.
Yeah.
our mission is just to support wives, families of firefighters, and provide them with the resources they need in any type of adversity.
However we can.
Oh
So
my
we
goodness.
do our own programming.
Oh, okay,
And
good. Thank you.
so we
You're
do
like
our-
beating me on those. It's
No, we-
fantastic. I love it.
We do our own conferences, and we have one coming up in Charleston. It's our national conference in October. And then we did this one because Elizabeth was wonderful. She's everything here. And
She's a
invited
pretty
us-
incredible woman.
yes,
She is
she is
very
incredible, and she invited us to facilitate. And we brought our new president, Valor. She's our new president of our auxiliary for mental health. So we're building a group for that with our wives.
good.
And so that's why we're here, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful.
Yes. Met so many wonderful wives. When we had our brunch today, we had a group of repeat customers, as you
Yes.
will,
Yeah.
like people we have had at conferences before, some faces that we knew, and then a lot of new faces that we enjoy bringing into the fold, and hopefully they enjoy what we do and what we provide for them, and utilize what we have for them. And it's been
And
great.
we've met some great groups along
Yeah.
the way who also
Yeah.
reach out to wives, and we're thrilled that they partner with us and we partner with them. So we're meeting somebody new every day.
Yeah.
It helps us expand.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, really, we had 500 members 4 months ago.
Yeah.
We have 11,
Yeah.
well, actually at mid-May.
Yeah.
So we had 539, and we have over 1,100.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
somehow the word, well, many ways, the
Yes.
conference in Florida and some other places, the word got out.
Yeah.
And every day we're taking 8 to 10 new members, and we love it. We just love it.
It's so needed.
It is extremely needed.
I mean, I can tell you like the amount of conferences I want to go to, and like that's fine for me because like if my husband wants to go, usually I'm the one dragging him.
Yeah.
That's not the way it usually works, but still, like you want to try to drag people along too. It's like, okay, your husbands are gone. Shouldn't you just say husbands, right? Spouses of any sort,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Sorry about, but
Significant others.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
And you know, you're gone, you're going to these conferences, you absolutely love it, but you are missing out on family time. And the family time is extremely important.
But that is where the fire service has really expanded.
Yes.
We go to these conferences now and we see the families and we see the wives and we see the, I mean, obviously there's that brotherhood there with the firefighters, but I feel like we are like,
We're getting them.
yeah.
But I still think it's kind of not a stigma, but we met a wife today who said, I see you all the time at this specific conference, 4 times a year or what have you. I've never said anything to you. And I'm like, no, just talk to us. And she said, I usually just kind of work in my room because he's gone.
Yeah.
So he can't facilitate conferences.
And it can be intimidating.
It's very intimidating.
I mean, I even get that still. Like, I'm at lunch today. I'm like, what do I do? Who do I sit with? And I just have to force myself, okay, go try to talk to somebody. And the fact that you guys actually, you set it up so that they have a safe place, even if somebody's not comfortable with going and talking to somebody, they have a safe place to come and gather.
Yes.
It's amazing.
And we try.
Yeah. We do try. And that's, I mean, we have a Facebook page, we have a website. Website is a little more geared toward, like, we have a book club and we have different things
Oh, you have
on
a
there.
book club? Oh,
Book
okay.
club, yes.
Yes.
Yes, but the Facebook page I feel is geared more toward, okay, if there is a conference coming up and you know you're going with your husband and you're bringing your family, let's talk about that, and maybe you can connect with some other wives and get together with them and have that time with them and just enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's and if we can supply any family with some resources in the meantime, we've done it.
This is so cool to finally see you guys in person.
Oh,
I just,
you're so kind.
I know. I'm kind of the one that's fangirl. I
I know,
know.
me too. I'm like, ooh, she's like a podcast. No, seriously. Thank you for getting us out. Helping us get out there. Can I tell people?
oh, of course.
Our
Yes.
Facebook is Fire Wife Life LLC. And our website is www.firewifelife.org. So hit us up.
Find it everywhere. I will try to put as many links to everything as possible. So
Thank you so much.
of course, and we will get you on for a full episode
Love
at some point.
Love that. We'll be there.
Oh, perfect. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
All right. All right, everybody. I am here with another amazing guest. I have Kyle Straight with Brew City. Brew City Fools. I almost said Brew City Brews. Welcome. I just met you today, and
Yes.
I am already having the best conversation with you. We've been talking for like 5 minutes before I started recording this one.
Yeah. At least.
Actually, I think it's probably been like 10 minutes or more.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah.
So, can you tell everybody just about you, about Brew City Fools, about how are you liking the weekend?
I am loving the weekend. This is like the thing that I am completely excited about. So yeah, I am the son of a welder. I'm a welder by trade. So I was in the trades as a pipe fitter welder, and that's what I enjoyed doing. But we moved to Lake of the Ozarks shortly after we were married from Kansas. And I got to the fire service. So Woodward, we started this Woodward conference, taught my academy back in 09.
Really?
So a little
Oh, that's cool.
So I started in 07 with a very small volunteer department, paid on call actually here at the lake called Rocky Mount. I'll yell at them because I haven't been with them for 12 years, so I'll give them a shout out. And that's where I got my start. And very quickly, I got the fire bug and just loved it. Lake Area Fools, which is helping host this event, is my first Fools chapter. So they're the ones that showed me how brotherhood works in the fire service and just the love of that. And then after a couple of years, we moved back to Wisconsin. I'm from Wisconsin, born and raised. Work there now as a career fireman in the Milwaukee metro area. and got with the Brew City Fools a handful of years ago. I was with another Fools chapter that isn't as active, so moved to them. And right before COVID, we were awarded by the Fools International Convention for 2020.
Oh,
So we were ramping up, and then
dang it.
a small little incident happened.
Just a tiny little
Just a
one.
little thing. Nobody will remember what it was. Well, we called it COVID, but nobody remembers
Yeah,
that.
what?
And so then with all of that, another chapter got it for the following year. It got canceled. So then we were re-awarded with it for 2022. So last week of September, we are hosting the Fools International Convention in Milwaukee.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it is exciting.
And
And
I wish so. First of all, you hear that noise. Sorry. Second of all, I wish I had heard about this sooner, so I could have somehow been able to go.
we can still make that
but-
happen. There's still time.
I don't know if I have the dates open.
It's only a week long.
Also, I'm not a member of the Fools chapter yet.
Doesn't matter.
What?
You can come as a non-Fools
Okay,
member.
hold on. That was not scripted. I legitimately had no idea. What?
Yeah, it is not open. It's open to firefighters and their spouses.
Really? And their spouses.
And their spouses. My wife is not a firefighter. She is coming to the baseball game. So a company, I'm gonna butcher their name, and I need to give them a shout out because they've been awesome. My brain is blank right now.
I'm sure they'll forgive you.
I hope so, but they are paying for the Milwaukee Brewer St. Louis Cardinals game.
What?
So if you are a paying member, or if you're if you paid a ticket, bought a ticket to the convention, you can go to the Cardinal Brewer game.
And you said the last week in September.
It was the last week of September.
I am going to try to make this work.
The dates are September 26th through the 30th.
That'll be right after my anniversary. Maybe my husband and I can make it a big anniversary trip.
Awesome. That would be phenomenal. While we are recording this, I'm going to look up information.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Because it's all going to be there, and I'm not going to make such a fool. And
Yeah.
they're like, I don't want to be a fool for the fools.
Oh, and fool for the fools. Well, I want to give the people the best information there is out there
Yes.
for it. It is so cool. And while you're looking that up, I'll just let everybody else know. We've already been talking way too much. This has been going way too well. And eventually we'll have him on for a full podcast in the future, talking about what, I don't know, but we could get into 1,000 different topics, I feel like.
Yes.
Oh, man.
So we're also having hot classes.
Yes.
So we are doing a heavy lifting and stabilization. That is happening on Thursday, actually, of that week. But yeah, we have just a whole thing going on with go-karts, and we have tours of firehouses around the Milwaukee area. Kelman Restoration, that's what it is. Kelman Restoration is doing an after party on Wednesday from the firehouse tours, and they're the ones that help us with the brewer game.
Oh, perfect. So wait, so if somebody wants to figure out information about this conference, where do they go?
BrewCityFools.com.
Okay.
So,
That
and-
also a little bit selfish is for me to look up later too,
Yes.
so that way I know where to go.
Yep, absolutely. So we also are doing stuff with sponsors. So if someone sponsors over a certain amount of money, then they can actually come as well.
Okay.
And then we have different levels, of course, because the more you donate, the more we prominently give you recognition. And we also have raffles going on. But I can't talk about the prizes yet because some things are still in the works,
Mhm.
and I don't want to speak out of school. So
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so you got something really cool here off
I do.
screen,
I do.
and I'm fighting very hard not to open it.
Open it.
I don't know what you guys are doing. I'm just
We're recording a podcast.
Yeah. That is the great Todd Edwards, who is
Yeah.
actually a member of the Fool, so it's fine.
And you guys, either before this or after this, have seen his wife on here. So look for that one wherever I put it in this thing. Anyways,
Yes.
so you got something really cool. I'm fighting not to open it right now.
So we have a bottle of Gentleman Jack, which it's now coming across backwards. What's cool about it, though, is not that it's Gentleman Jack, because that is cool, but we actually have engraved, and you can't really see
Hold
it on
on.
camera.
I have an idea.
Okay.
We're gonna see if this works. Maybe. Does that work?
So this is a bottle with our logo on it.
Kind
Or
of, not
take a
really.
picture and we'll show it.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Right
All
there.
right. So at Brew City Fools, we have our cowboy clown, or sorry, our fireman clown. What happens to looking through stuff. But it's got our logo on there with our saying, which is nobody cares, work harder.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So
Like-
we've been selling these, so I have a few of them here at the lake. because when we sell these, we are not shipping them.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're pickup only. So right now, for being in Missouri, I brought a few bottles down to sell to the people coming in as our fundraiser for the international,
Oh
which is
my goodness.
we've gotten such amazing support from everybody here at this conference. So She's
I
thinking
might,
about it?
I might have to. Okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
your
Oh,
husband
is this
can
one
help you
mine
later.
already? Just here?
Yeah, we'll Venmo it later. It's fine.
Awesome. So, so yeah, people finding out about the fools will just go to the website. Is there a Facebook
Yep.
page or anything for anybody to go
We
to?
do. Our Facebook is also Brew City Fools. And
Perfect.
then there's a link with the international as well. But go to our website, 'cause it's going to draw you there anyway. So it's open for non-members as well. However, we will do our best to get you to become a member because the Fools is an awesome training organization, and that's what its main focus is on is the brotherhood. So it was started in 1995, 96. Make sure I get those right.
Oh, you better get it right. Someone's gonna like get you.
They're gonna Google it. They're like, you have a phone with you. They
It's like
Google
you're
that.
totally wrong. Just-
Right. So in the 90s, it was started by some firemen in Florida, where all rank drops at the door. So in the firehouse, it's chief so-and-so, captain so-and-so, lieutenant so-and-so. At the Fools, okay, yeah, you're a chief, a captain, lieutenant. That's great, but we don't care. We do, but we don't, right? So my fire chief will walk in. I call him, we're pretty actually cool department, but I call him chief so-and-so, or on occasion his first name, whatever. But a lot of guys don't have that camaraderie and that brotherhood within their firehouse.
Yeah, it's tough to come by sometimes.
It is. So the Fools, it's all of that. We were going to get on here a little bit, Chief Dennis Reilly.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
very excited to talk with him. Like,
Yes.
just beyond excited.
So he's a big supporter of the Fools as well. And with him, it's like, hey, Dennis, what's up? Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
And that's where we can have that camaraderie, but also that training, right? We have some amazing instructors. They have their, instructor certifications. We're not just, it's not a free for all.
Yeah.
But we help out with the smaller departments. In our area, outside of the metro area, we have a lot of smaller departments, small budgets.
Oh, that's nice.
So we will come and train with them. I used to work for a private ambulance service. We contracted with an area with that small department. As the Fools, we came to a small department. We brought our trailer that has our props in it, has our tools, and showed them techniques that they can do without going out spending money on the next cool toy. It's like, here's what you have. What do you have? Okay, great. Let's get our doors out. Let's get our props out. And now let's work about things that you can do.
That's amazing. Just getting, hands-on experience before
Hands-on
you buy.
experience. Yep.
I mean, how many things do I want to do that with? I mean, like, honestly, even for gloves, like I bought new gloves this weekend, which I'm excited.
I have to
but,
go do actually.
I made sure I got mine done first, but like, I wanted to try them on because I wouldn't have a chance to actually see, okay, how do I like them to make sure it's the right size? I wish there were more ways to do that with tools, but the ways that you guys trying to implement that to make it work.
And a lot of these tool companies, a lot of those guys are Fools guys.
Oh, cool.
Or they work with the Fools to like, hey, we want that. Okay, cool. Well, put my sticker on your truck and let's work out a deal or it's a donation. Because the Fools are a 301c nonprofit organization. Okay. So we do work on donations. We pay a fee. So different chapters have their different dues. I can talk about Brew City specifically, but I don't want to speak out of school because I don't know what someone in Nebraska is going to do or Iowa. So go to your local Fools chapter, the international. Just go into Google International Fools.
That was going to be my next question: is how do I find one near me? Because I don't actually know what the nearest one to me is.
So go to the website, Google the International Fools.
All right.
The website will pop up, and then you can say Fools near me, and it'll show you by state where the nearest locals are and an email address to get in contact with them.
Okay, perfect.
I should probably talk about what the Fools stands for. We are the Fraternal Order of Leatherhead Society. So we promote leather boots, leather suspenders, and leather helmets.
So can I still be a member if I do not have a leather helmet?
I don't currently have one. It'll be ordered in the next half an hour, actually.
We're timing that now, so you know.
Yeah.
Is it going to be helmet and then gloves? Is that how it is?
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. We're gonna show my wife this after the purchase is
after
coming through.
yes.
Like, I don't know what happened.
I did not do this. No, do not blame me.
She knows. So no, it's about the concept over what people are going to do, right?
Yes.
So it's really about promoting the brotherhood, taking care of each other. If you go on our Facebook, you're going to find a GoFundMe for one of our local guys whose kid is having a lot of medical issues and health issues. He did not come to us asking for help. We did it, and he still hasn't even like taken the money from us yet. We're like, no, hey, this is for you, because we take care of our brothers, saying, hey, look, we got you. It's okay. You know, something happened to me. I know for a fact if something were to happen to me, my wife's gonna be taken care of from the foods. Right?
Yeah.
And there's other organizations, and my local will take care of me, the international will take care of me. If you're a Fools member, there's also a small insurance benefit too that the international would cover. So because of all the dues, so we do take care of our.
It's different world to me. I've heard a little bit about it, but not very much. Very honestly, it seems like as much as I know about the fire service, I'm learning so much more and more and more every time I go to these conferences.
Absolutely.
And it's one of the reasons why I love coming to these conferences.
Yeah, it's honestly, I know a lot of instructors here. Some really well, some kind of. I meet them. All super humble guys. They all teach at big conferences around the country, and they're phenomenal people. And if it wasn't for the Lake Area Fools way back when, taking a young 22-year-old, from the utility world, saying, "Hey, look, this is how this goes, and this is how we take care of each other." It's like it wouldn't be, 14 or 15 years later, where I'm sitting here with you doing a podcast with some awesome people that I only read about in Fire Engineering Magazine.
No, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you walk up to them, they smile and happy to see you. They know you by name. They give you a hug. I'm going, yeah, crap, it's that. Yeah, I know his face, and then it clicks because it takes a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I think I was talking to you before we started. Like I'm just a little bit overwhelmed, but in the best way. This weekend, it's like
because who came by, just walked by that you saw.
Everybody. I don't know. I like just.
He's gonna be next. Reilly.
Oh, Reilly's next. Yes. Well, then the other last night, I was standing next to Mike Lombardo out of nowhere, and I had no idea it was him, and we just talked for a little bit, and it was great. And it was just, I don't know, just.
So here's the thing about Mike Lombardo. I'm gonna brag on Mike Lombardo a little bit. Who doesn't need any help in promotion of himself? Right? But people are probably watching this, only dreaming about ever meeting Mo Davis, Mike Lombardo, all those caliber guys. Thursday, of course, he flew in, and we're getting stuff set up for this conference. Big deal. Everybody coming in getting registered yesterday got all their bags, right? Or this morning got all the bags. I don't know what day it is today. Friday?
Today's Friday, I think. I hope so.
So, yeah. Mike Lombardo is standing there. What do you need? Oh, no, we're good. We got this. He's filling people's bags.
What?
So people today who got their goodie bag with everything in it, a lot of those were filled with help from Mike Lombardo. My Fools table, I was doing all my shirts, trying to figure out, okay, my shirt size, what we got. He goes, what do you need? I'm sorting shirt sizes. He's like, cool. Grabs a pile and starts sorting shirts. Here's this size, that size. And the thing is, you think you're somebody special, just remember that Mike Lombardo came in and did the little things that is literally, to some people in their own mind, beneath them.
Yes.
And you have Chief Lombardo going, let's do this. While chit-chatting about where you're from, how's your department run, how you liking it. That's cool.
That is the epitome of leadership right there.
110%.
You could not get any more to the core of what it is.
No.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, and you have people like Chief Craig Haig here.
Yeah.
Doing the dynamic fire chief. He's been here since year one. And I met him briefly year one. Hi, Chief, nice to meet you, whatever. Followed him on Facebook, whatever. And he's an hour and a half from my area, being in Chicago, where he was working as a firefighter, as a chief, sorry. And year two, I come back with one of my guys who works with me that we've known together. And we're walking up, okay, this is Chief Craig Haig, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, yeah, I've seen him on Facebook. And I'm walking up, and as I'm ready to introduce myself, because this guy has thousands of followers. I don't write articles. I'm a local instructor for the stuff that we teach in our local area, right? I'm not anybody. And I'm walking up and goes, hey, Kyle, how's it going? I'm like, hi, Chief, I'm Kyle. Hi. How do you know who I am? He's like, I know my firefighters on Facebook. I see your comments. I pay attention to that stuff because he's got a mind like that, and he cares about those that are polite, putting in the work, and trying to come up. And by come up, I mean just growing your knowledge, and being the person who's at the conferences, seeking out just to be better for them, for ourselves personally, for them, right? For the people that we serve, and that's all these guys truly care about.
That is what drives me. I can see that's what drives you. That's what
Yeah.
drives everyone who's here this weekend.
Who's here this weekend? Yeah, and that's what the Fools is about. And that's why I've been able to sit here, because if it wasn't for the Fools, it wasn't for this conference.
Oh, I would have still grabbed you probably or something. I would have found a reason to bring
Who
you
are
in.
you? I don't know.
Wait, come talk. Let's talk. Let's chat.
I'm just a backstep fireman. That's all I am.
This has
So,
been amazing, Kyle.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's been
great.
so great. Okay, so what we've already talked about how we can find everybody or anything, I guess. So
I think so. And I gotta say, I hope they're here for year 6. This is year 5. I have no doubt they'll be here for year 6. So things to look up for them. The Brew City Fools, the Fools International Convention in September of 2022. Coming up in a couple months. I think there's still time for registration. I'm gonna say all this. I know it's closed.
okay, yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. That's all it is for me.
If nothing else, go to it next year wherever it's at.
Yeah, wherever it is, it's going to be somewhere. And look up the Revolutionary Fire Tactics at the Lake, because it wasn't for this conference and conferences like it popping around the country. That's how you get better. You don't have to drive all the way to Missouri. I do. There's stuff going on around the country, and it's just a matter of really just getting on Facebook and following the legit pages. Get away from the pages that talk about that badmouth our citizens, right?
Yeah, get away from those pages. Get away from the ones that have the fight against career and volunteer. Get away from all that crap and just find the ones that are in it to get better.
Yeah, the Fools we have.
That's gonna be great. Okay, so
The pages.
yes, the pages.
So get away from the ones that my chief calls it Mrs. Smith, and I'm gonna use it because I've heard it before, and I like it when he does it. Like, do we get irritated when we see the same call over and over and over again? It's something that we get burnt out, like, all right, this again, right? Because we come into the fire service being promised these fires every day, which, by the way, means you're burning down your city, not a good thing, right?
Yeah.
And, I gotta run this medical. It's like, well, you know what? For them, that's bad. Just because we're salty enough because we've seen such horrible things, you should be happy you're not walking into something this horrific every single day, multiple times a day. Even though that's what we're promised in our EMT classes, our paramedic classes, over and over again, because that's what's in the curriculum, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, quit following those pages. Follow guys like Mike Lombardo, Todd Edwards, who interrupted earlier, the Kevin McCarts, David and Elizabeth Woodwards, and the Revolutionary Fire Tactics at the Lake.
Even stuff like Engine Company Resurrection.
Engine Company Resurrection is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Train or Die.
Yes, that's a great
Devin,
one.
have you seen Devin?
I have no, I don't know what he looks like, so I may have met him. I have no idea.
If you walk by, I guess I'll search up with them.
Okay, perfect.
So
you have to do the introduction though.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Follow the Train or Die guys. Build Your Culture by Sean Duffy and Pablo. I can't remember Pablo's last name. But they do that stuff. Like, this is from Sean Duffy. This is what I.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, hold on. Okay.
So yeah.
So
Build Your Culture with Sean Duffy.
yes.
We become what we accept, right?
Yes, it is the coolest thing here. That is amazing.
And I actually have the tan line. I got it. I bought it from him last year at this conference.
And you have the tan line to prove it that it's there all the
I have
time.
the tan line to prove it. But yeah, those are the guys that get to meet and introduce yourselves to it. They're just firemen just trying to make the fire service better, right?
Oh man, yeah.
So that's, and all those guys are fools. They're all members of Fools.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's been great talking with you. I gotta cut this because otherwise it's gonna be a full
It's gonna
episode
be a
pretty
full
soon.
episode.
So we'll do that another time. So you guys all watch for that. But I'm gonna get on to some other talking. He's gonna introduce me to a whole bunch of people. This is gonna be great. Make it out to any conferences you guys can, because this kind of stuff happens if you try. Yeah, you just gotta go up to be like, hey, I don't know who you are, but I want to know. And that's pretty much all you have to do, right? That's pretty much what happens.
That's what I do.
All right, on to the next one. All right, you guys, I have an amazing guest here tonight. I've heard so much about. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting until just a little bit ago. I have Dennis Reilly here with me tonight.
Yes, the one and only. Here I am, live and in person. My name is Dennis Reilly. I'm actually the fire chief in Pittsburgh, Kansas, and I'll be working tomorrow with all the hose advance folks. And then Sunday afternoon, I'm going to be talking with company officers about managing discipline, culture, environment, stuff like that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I was just telling you just a little bit ago, I've heard so much about you, especially from Dave Mellen. Like, it's crazy how much he talks about you. It's great. And like you said, money well spent, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I write it off my taxes. So
Totally. But it seems like you're just a down to earth person. You love talking to everybody. And how are you doing this weekend? How are you liking it this weekend?
Well, I look forward to stuff like this. I mean, this is really neat. When you come here, you're surrounded by like-minded people, so that always kind of gives you a chance to refresh, recharge the batteries. I'm a fire chief, so I spend time behind the desk. I spend time talking with HR and lawyers and finance and budget. I don't begrudge that. I mean, nobody held a gun to my head saying, look, you're going to be a fire chief. I knew what I was getting into, but it is a little bit of a grind. So when you get out here, it's kind of like just being a firefighter again. And I think it's neat. I've been doing this now. I don't know. Everybody knows how old I am. I'm in my 49th year in the fire service.
That's fantastic.
So I've been around for a long time, and after a while, you kind of get away some from the business end of the business, because that's just where your career takes you. So I come back here and I get to do some really neat stuff. And I joke around, all the cool kids are going to let the old guy play with them tomorrow. So
yeah, it definitely keeps you connected to everything that's happening, though.
Well, when you're a fire chief, it's easy to kind of get separated because you're in that executive level. Okay, and I'm one of the city department heads, and in the big, pecking order, the fire chief's pretty up there. But I use the term chief firefighter in my signature block to remind myself that whatever the fire department gets into, whatever we do, I'm responsible.
Yeah.
So I got to balance the budget, but I also got to make sure that we send trained, motivated, highly qualified, battle-ready, professional firefighters and officers to Mrs. Smith's emergency. So I've got to do that and come in places like this and being around like-minded people and hanging out with Dave Mellen and Justin Mann and Todd Edwards and Kevin McCart, and the list goes on and on. That just puts me in a position where when I go back to work Monday morning, I'll remember this and say, okay, well, yeah, I got to do a little bit of work on the budget spreadsheet, but I got to get my ass out into firehouses and talk to firefighters about fire stuff.
I love that mindset. I wish all of us would have that mindset every day. And it takes a lot of work to keep up at that.
Well, it does. It can be tiring.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. About it. I got a great wife who supports me.
Mm-hmm.
I got a fantastic family.
That means so much too.
I got 2 adult children. I got a bunch of grandkids. I've got friends inside the fire service. I got friends outside the fire service. So all those things help. And I got some hobbies. I do some other stuff other than fire stuff. Mm-hmm. But I remind myself, or I try to remind myself every day, 2 things. Number one, I work the best job on the face of the earth. There's nothing better
yes.
than being a firefighter. And number 2, it's totally a privilege to serve. The fire department owes me nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. And I'll say this to every firefighter out there, especially you guys you guys and you women who are drawing a paycheck, you ought to seriously think about giving one of those checks back once a year, because the city allows you to do this. Mm-hmm. And it is. I mean, it's just, it just doesn't get better.
Yeah, it does not.
And, and I just think about that. And that's what, carries me through the bad times. And, look, when you're a fire chief, you got to deal with personnel issues. You're going to have citizen complaints. This guy, this girl, they're going to do something. It's like, oh, man. But, I still get to be a firefighter, and that's what's important. So, I wrap all those things together, and it's a 3-hour drive for me to get here. And I was actually the fire chief in Sunrise Beach, Missouri for almost 7 years. Yes.
That's amazing. I had no idea.
Yeah. So it's like the mothership is calling me home anyhow. And where we're going to do the practical training is actually the fire station where my office was. Oh, cool. And that's the training facility that we used for it. So like I said, it's the mothership home, home. Yeah. So it's all good.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. thank you so much for coming and talking for a little bit.
It was a pleasure. Absolutely.
So if people want to find you online anywhere, how can they do that? How can they find you?
They
Obviously, first of all, they might know how to find you already, but in
Yeah,
case they
they
don't.
might. CHFD, that's the abbreviation for Cherry Hill Fire Department, Harley like the motorcycle.
Okay.
And I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook, and I am doing a little Facebook Live thing tomorrow at noon. Got a little something going on that I'm going to kind of roll out to the masses.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Absolutely.
Is it out yet?
No, I'm going live noon.
Sport. Okay.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
I mean, I got
where if you don't try,
Well, I got to figure out the smartphone thing.
Yeah.
And they call them smartphones because they're a lot smarter than I am. But that's all right, I mean, to go and joke back on my job with my guys is when I was a probie, one of my duties was to muck out the stables.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, whatever.
Yep.
Whatever, guys. That's right. And I don't mind, I don't mind. They're more than welcome to have a little bit of fun at my expense. It's all good.
Oh my goodness, that's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey everybody, I have another great guest for you. These are just going to keep rolling for a while because I think I've got a few others I want to talk to. And it's amazing being here because everyone just is up for it and talking, and it's crazy because I'm meeting so many people. It's ridiculous. So I want to bring on somebody I've had on the podcast before, and I'm extremely excited. This is the first time I'm meeting him in person. Well, I met him earlier today in person, but first day meeting him like ever in person. It's so exciting. And one of the guys who actually inspired me to start my own podcast, Jeremy Sanders from Crew for Sculpture.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's big. It's a pretty big statement. So thank you.
I don't know, just something about listening to your podcast episodes. It's one of those things I think we talked about before on the other episode that we did. It seems like sometimes they're just speaking to you. You're like, I don't know, but this is like the perfect one I need to hear right now. And it's just, even the other ones, I know you've been quiet for a little while, and that's life. That's the way things happen. But like, I'll re-listen to some of them because like, I miss hearing you talk. So I'll re-listen to it like, oh, this fits what's happening now in my life when I finally listen to it. And it's so amazing.
That's kind of why I do it. Like you said, it's been a little bit since I've done one. I want to get back into it, but there's so many out there, and even just in the fire service genre, there's a crazy amount of podcasts, but there's so many different kinds. You got podcasts that talk about line of duty deaths. You got podcasts that talk about tactics. You got podcasts that just tell stories and be goofy.
Yeah.
For me, that's just not my personality. My personality is subdued and quieter. And yeah, I wish I was more charismatic, like I said in class. But it's who I am. But I feel like what I want to accomplish with my podcast, with my social media, all that, is just telling my story, telling the things that I've learned, my mistakes, good things, hopefully every once in a while, and yeah, that's exactly why, because I never know what I might say today. Taylor Anderson from Nebraska might listen to it and it reach something they need.
Yeah.
Or Tom Jones from who knows what. And so if I didn't do that, like we talked about in class, you're missing the opportunity to help somebody that I will never know who might need it. Mm-hmm. But if I don't do it, then I know that I'm not doing it for them. So that's the biggest thing for me. I'm not a public eye person. I'm not a self-promoter. It's very awkward for me, just like I'm sure you.
Yes. Yep.
It's part of if this is what you're doing, it's part of the game that you have to play. You've got to get kind of out there. And so I've enjoyed, just like you said, I've enjoyed meeting so many new people, meeting people that want to be here, want to make the fire service better. It's great.
So can I say something? I don't know if you're going to agree with me or not, but you said that you want to be more charismatic and all that stuff, and I understand because I'm the same way too. I'm like, I want to be more like into talking to people and like introducing myself and like actually what I do. Like that's the weirdest part is like saying like, oh, I have a podcast and stuff. It's like it's weird to say, but I actually like the way you are because somebody's going to identify with that. Somebody's gonna be like, oh well, I'm not charismatic and I can't do all this stuff, but you did and you can, and you push through the things that is uncomfortable, very uncomfortable for you, to get that message out that you really want to get out.
I think that, again, like something we touched on in class, is authentic. If you try to be somebody you're not, if I try to be that person that is goofy and outspoken and loud, it's just going to come off.
It's going to be
fake.
Weird, yeah.
It's not going to be authentic, and nobody's going to care what I say.
And firefighters can smell fake.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's easy to do because it's not who I am, so it's going to be very apparent. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I like to say it a lot just because, I mean, I want people to know it. Yeah, I get it. I'm not that guy, but yes, I still have my message and my way of saying it. Yeah, hopefully it's going to reach somebody that maybe the high class, top notch speakers don't. So
yeah.
You just never know.
Oh yeah. Something I've always said since I started is, there's so many of us podcasters out there now, like it's ridiculous. And there's more popping up. And I was just talking to somebody else today who wants to start their own. They're asking for tips. And like, first of all, I can't believe they're asking me for tips on it already. But I love it. I don't see it as competition. I don't see it. We're all trying to learn and get better. And we all have a different way of speaking to people. It doesn't matter if we talk about the same subject on our podcast. And it's hilarious. Sometimes we do. But we touch on it in such a different way.
And even if it's the same stuff.
Yeah.
Really, everything is the same
stuff. Oh, yeah.
Nothing
is original.
Matter, so, but yeah, that's the thing is, and it's kind of, it echoes in here too. I don't know what you've told everybody watching, but we're in a vendor demo, a vendor event. You got people doing training, you got fire wives and companies and all that. And really when it comes down to it, especially the smaller ones, they're supporting each other. I've got somebody else's hat. I like supporting others. They support me. Podcasts, I actually enjoy being on other people's podcasts probably more than my own, because then I just get to talk. I don't have to, I don't have to watch time, or I don't have to make sure that this flowing.
It's actually going right.
Just talk and enjoy it. So yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
All right. Commercial break. Okay, so we're back. What were we talking about right then?
Talking about supporting each other, podcasters and small training companies and all that.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so I've got to say I absolutely loved your class this afternoon. I think I told you this before, but like I actually built my weekend making sure I could go to your class first, and I built everything else around that of like what I could fit in and what I wanted to go to. And it did not disappoint. I loved it. I really did. And a lot of those things, like I've already gone through a lot of that journey with this podcast, but I think it's something other people need to hear that. Other people need to see that. Not that they have to, like you said in that class, you don't have to start a podcast. You don't have to start a social media page. You can do this in other ways, and whatever, even in smaller ways. If you don't want to start something big, you don't have to. And I think we need to see more of that around. And it's a great message you're spreading. And I can't wait to see how many other places you're going to teach this thing at.
Well, it's funny because literally just probably 30 minutes ago, somebody came up to me, and I've met him before. He's from Oklahoma, but he asked me, so how do you go? I mean, he was legitimately, it was a serious question. How do you go from being a captain at a firehouse one day to speaking at a decent sized conference the next? I said, well, first off, it wasn't the next day.
Yeah.
That's been a 2 or 3 year journey, but it's just about taking advantage of what's there. If it's just one person that you kind of think maybe he needs a little help, or maybe she needs somebody to talk to, start there. If it's, hey, these people are needing some help doing some instructing one day, okay, well, that's a great opportunity, and it just feeds from there. And that's exactly what that's how I'm here. I never planned on, okay, this is where I'm going to be this time. It just kind of happens. I just been lucky enough to be around some really great people, some amazing firefighters that have taught me. I mean, I will very genuinely say that I've been on 20 years now. I have learned more in the past 3 years than I have learned in the first 17. And that's just straight up absolutely true. And so that I want to use that to share with others so that they don't have to wait till they're 17 years in to learn it. And so using that and just meeting people, like I'm excited for you that you're meeting new people that are great. And I mean, that's how it works, is you just start building on this, and meeting these new people that you just met might lead to something else. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, but at least try to take advantage of what's there. Man, that's all there is to it. Is if you want to do good things, just keep your eyes open, and they're going to come. You just have to be willing to do the work to follow through.
Yeah, I mean, just going off of that taking the opportunities and chances that come along. So we were talking at breakfast today, and I don't know if Tara or you or somebody was saying, hey, are you doing any podcast stuff here? I'm like, well, I don't think so. I'm not sure. I haven't decided anything. And you mentioned, well, why don't you start talking to people or something? And then you and Tara were just like, yeah, let's do it. So let's figure it out. And I wasn't going to do it. I was just gonna be like, that's too much. It's already overwhelming being here. It's a great thing, but like, it's too much. And then the more I thought about throughout the day, I'm like, I really should do it. And then taking your class and talking about not passing up those opportunities, I'm like, this is exactly, like, I feel like I can't let this one go by. And I'm really happy I didn't. I'm really happy I didn't, because I mean, who knows where it's going to go from here? And it would have been a great conference without it. But I've met, like you said, so many people. It's ridiculous within the past even hour. It's crazy.
And the cool thing about the fire service is you come to these things, and this is where the Lake of the Ozarks. It's not a giant conference, but it's not a small one.
Yeah.
But the great thing about that is it's big enough to have some amazing instructors, some amazing firefighters. But it's not so big that you can't go and talk to these instructors that are literally right around you right now.
Yeah.
And they're all, I've never met one that was a jerk. I mean, they're all willing to chat with you and be involved in a conversation. That's awesome. And then when you have that opportunity, you can't miss what you got there. So I'm glad you stuck it out and try it.
So. I'm loving every bit of it. So I hope I have a few more coming up. I don't know. We're going to keep going until I can't find anybody else tonight. So, So I know we've done another podcast. People can find you other ways there. But for here, how can people find you?
Just type Crew First Culture and whatever you're looking for. It's basically Instagram, Facebook. We have got a website now. Crew First, which one st culture.com, or Instagram or Facebook or whatever else. Try to keep it as easy as I can.
Yeah.
And that's the name of the podcast as well. So pretty easy. If you want to talk or chat or whatever, I'm more than happy to reach out on direct message or anything like that. So.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thank
This has
you.
meant a lot.
I enjoy it.
All right, you guys. I've actually switched sides for this one, so it's great. But I have another guest on today. I actually have Chris with Citizens First Training. Citizens First Fire Training. Oh my goodness, I miss that every time. I am so sorry. But hi. Okay, so we were just talking before this. I've never met you before. I've been paying attention to what you've been doing, but I've never been able to put a face to the page, a face to any of it. So it's finally nice to meet you.
You too. Great. It's awesome to be out here and be able to meet people.
So how have you been liking the weekend so far?
Love it. First time out here for the conference, and it's
Oh,
been
really?
amazing. Yeah, this is the first year I've been able to come out, and I will be back next year for sure.
Oh, fantastic. So what have you been keeping busy with this weekend for?
We delivered our lecture on Prioritize the Mindset
Oh, cool.
earlier today, and we were able to do all that. And then the rest of the day, we've been helping vendors, and we're helping support some other classes.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what are you doing with supporting the classes then? So are you taking any other classes, or how are you working with that?
We actually are we are supplying extrication tools for the classes this weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're going to help them with that and let them run their classes. Just assist wherever we can.
So how many people did you bring with you? You had quite a few people at your booth when we saw you a little bit ago.
We have 4 of our instructors that are here. 3 of them are going through classes themselves. So they're students.
Oh, perfect.
So they brought their families out. They're able to do that time with them, build it, and then also learn when they're here.
That is the nicest thing. I've been saying this the whole time, is just one thing I love about this conference and having it here, especially a vacation destination, is the fact that you make it a family event. You can make it a family event. I mean, I don't have my family here with me because it's just my husband and he's working and he wanted to work overtime, and I'm like, fine, if you really want to, I'm not gonna stop you. But I can't wait for when I have a family, when I build a family, to bring them with me.
No, and you need to. With the trainings, any of our training events, our wives, our kids are always out there.
Oh, wow.
And any of the students can bring their wives and kids too, because we want the families involved.
Really?
Because we spend so much time away at work, and then you're going to a training event, you bring the family in there, they see what you're getting out of it, and you're able to share that with them. So you're not truly away from them, but they're seeing what you're doing, your passion for it, and you're being able to get that back, so you get more support from your house as well.
I love a lot of training companies out there and stuff like that, but I've never seen anyone really try to. Sorry, words are kind of hard at the moment, but I'm a little excited. You couldn't tell. It's a little bit overwhelming in the best way, but I haven't seen too many fire training companies focus towards families. I've seen conferences, but not individual classes.
We're a family business. Our families are involved in everything. My wife helps me with everything. Same thing with all the other instructors.
Okay.
So they allow us to be able to do what we're doing. So with not being able to bring them in and everything else like that, what are we saying for our students?
Yeah.
So if we get our students to involve their wives and everything with this, that makes their entire 20, 25-year career, that gets them invested with it. So it's not bringing that strain on the family house. It's not bringing that added stress because of job stress.
Yes.
So we get them in there. We do stuff for the wives. We do a Christmas dinner with all the instructors, the wives, the kids, stuff like that. Being able to unite with each other, spend the time with each other, and be able to get the return of the investment.
That is amazing. So I actually, in the guest podcast that I do all the time, I actually have a segment of the show called Family Firefighter Survival, where first half of the show we just talk about fire stuff, normal whatever we're talking about. Firefighters at heart just love to talk shop, right? Second half is all about family. It's all about what we do, how we make it work, some things that may have gone wrong in the past, and how we deal with it and whatnot, and stuff with it. And it's just, if you're ever up for it, I'd love to have you on.
Absolutely.
I feel like it'd be right up your alley too.
Absolutely. So, no, we're a big supporter of families getting involved, bringing them out to the training events. Our engine and truck academy that we did, I have pictures taken with 3 of our instructors and their kids getting involved, being able to see. So we're breeding a next generation to come into the job. We're also letting them see what their mom and their dad do for a living, the seriousness of the job, but also how rewarding it is.
Like you said, bringing in the next generation to learn that's how we get more people to want to volunteer, to want to apply for career jobs, to want to get into this.
And how much easier it is to sell a training to your spouse that they can go along with and they can be a part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're not just spending $200, $300 to a conference or something like that. You're able to go
see you, honey. I'll see you later.
You're able to see what they're getting, what makes them passionate about it, and what makes them safer doing their job, so they can hold you at the end of the day.
That makes it a lot easier too. Like it's, my husband was into it before I was. He dragged me into it, and I love him for it because it's changed my life like crazy. But he showed me, what it meant to him and how much it meant to him, and it made it so much easier on me before I became a firefighter to understand, okay, hey, this is why, this is what's going to it. It's not foreign to me.
It's just like when we teach a task, if we teach the why, you understand it better.
Yeah.
So we involve them why this training is so important, what we get out of it, how it makes it better, safer, be able to come home, and everything else, how it's an investment for our career. You understand it. You don't get the resentment, you don't get the anger that's going with it, and it makes it a lot easier. It brings you guys closer as a couple, along as a family.
Yes.
So that makes everything better.
It's so cool. What I love about this is we hadn't talked about any of this before any of this, and like it just totally coming in, just like it's. I don't know. It's just so cool. I love it when people are just that open and like are good with talking about family, are good about bringing it in, and it's nice to have that connection already with you to like, oh yeah, we're into this together.
You have to, because if you're working a 24/48 shift, you're working with your family 2,912 hours.
You've done the math.
That's
Yep.
without overtime or anything else.
Yeah.
Let alone family events that you're missing and everything else. So if we throw a weekend training in there, it's 48 hours that you're away from your family.
Yeah.
We need to bring them a part of it. We need to not make them separate. If they don't understand it, they think you're out partying, they think you're just celebrating. It's a lot of hard work that goes into these classes that people are doing. They're able to do that. So you get the buy-in, you get the support. It makes your home life a lot better. The job's hard enough, so you're not taking the stress from the job all the time. They don't understand. So it allows your spouses to be able to learn stuff, be able to see what's going on, so they can help you get through bad calls and stuff like that.
This has been really awesome talking to you. It's really nice putting a face to the name, to everything together. Thank you so much. So how can people find you?
We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. My cell phone's on everything, the email's on everything. I answer any message that goes. So anything that is sent to the business page, the phone number, the email is on me.
Okay, perfect.
So it's one person that people are talking to. So we're available to get on that. Help anybody that we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. It's
No
been
problem.
awesome.
I appreciate it.
I'm here with Adam Haywood of Independent Fire Training. And it's funny because actually, so I haven't met you before.
Nope.
I've seen you on Instagram because I was like, when I saw you, I'm like, and met you, I'm like, wait a second, I've heard your name before. I've seen Independent Fire Training somewhere around. How do I know this? And you're like, I'm really small. I don't know how you've heard of me. But then I found out, yeah, it was Instagram.
Right.
It's such a powerful tool.
It's really cool. Yeah. It connects everybody.
It's crazy. We were just talking about it before we started recording, just how big and how small the fire service is.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's wild to think like 20 years ago, trainings were put on like VHS tapes and distributed that way, you know, and then you had to go to conferences to meet other people. Now I can pull my phone and see, you know, tactics on tap from somebody in the East Coast, or talk to somebody, a truckman on the West Coast, or it's so cool. I mean, we're in the golden age of, you know, information sharing.
Oh, it's great because the different, I remember talking, who was I talking with? I think it was with Rob Ridley with National Fire Radio. We were talking one day and he was saying how it's awesome because they go around, right? They talk to people all over the country.
Love those guys.
And they look at firefighting innovations, right? They love that stuff. I love watching that stuff. It's amazing. And it's crazy because like somebody in Missouri might have a fantastic idea that somebody in New York might want, or somebody in Alabama might have something someone in Nevada might want. You know, it's like ridiculous how this can connect us.
Well, and like how some things will work really well, say in Missouri, but things will just fall on their face and say like Colorado, right? I mean,
exactly.
How you set up a truck or whatever. So, but yeah, Rob and those guys at National Fire Radio, I love their work. It's really cool. They always have really quality content. So
exactly.
I enjoy them a lot.
I'm missing Rob a little bit at this conference here this year. I'm hoping he can come back again.
Yeah, he was here last year.
Yeah.
That's where I met him last year. Yeah.
So hopefully he'll come back. But so how has your weekend been going? What have you been up to?
So I taught yesterday. I taught a 2-hour lecture yesterday at 3. So yesterday was mostly just prep for me.
So what was the lecture over?
So it's our flagship class called Gas Powered Forcible Entry, which takes a deep dive into all things rotary saw, pretty much excluding like vertical ventilation. So we talk about forcing entry on doors, vehicle fires, window bars, saw checks, you know, ownership of the saw. Super deep look at rotary saw.
Definitely stuff that is needed, because we were talking last night and I do not know enough about that avenue of things.
Sure. So there are other instructors out there that put a lot of good content on about rotary saws. I'm not alone. I don't own any of this. But it definitely seems to be, at least in my world in Colorado, it seems to be kind of glossed over in the fire academies. Like you get maybe an hour with the saw. You know?
Oh, that is not just Colorado. That is everywhere.
I mean, we're talking like 16-week career, you know, hardcore academies where, you know, you pull hose for weeks and weeks and throw ladders for weeks and weeks, but you get no saw time.
Yeah.
So it was a passion project of mine that just totally exploded into what it is now.
Oh, cool.
And it's been super cool. So yesterday, back to your question.
Yeah.
Yesterday was mostly just like prep work for me, like psyching myself up. I'd never taught the class outside Colorado.
So yeah, that's gotta be a big,
yeah.
big
And
step.
I've delivered the class about 14 times now, and every time I try to tweak it, make it a little bit better. And there's definitely some things I can improve on after, having taught here now. But yeah, just a lot of prep work yesterday, and networking, meeting people at night. And then today it just was a vacation day for me. Just hung up by the pool and read a book. And
I'm a little jealous. I mean, I'm still happy I was able to take classes, but I'm a little jealous of being able to hang out by the pool.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, it's really cool. We have my wife's pregnant with a kid. I'm not sure if I told you that last night.
Yes, you did.
And he's doing like 3 weeks. So I'm not gonna have any more of this. I mean, it's weird. It's really weird being on vacation by yourself.
Yes,
like
it
without
is.
your partner.
I can totally believe that. So my husband's actually at home as well. He's working. He wasn't able to come out, and it is the weirdest thing in the world. Is you're like almost like, what do you do? Or you feel guilty for going to like a vacation destination without them.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You have nobody to talk to.
Yeah,
So like during classes today when I was at the pool, I missed talking to somebody. But maybe next year she'll come with me with the kids. And
that'd be nice.
I really do love this conference, and I really want to try to make it like an annual thing. And I'd like to like, I don't know what the right word is, like progressively make the class obviously better and longer.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So maybe do like the class is designed to be 2 hours of lecture and then like 6 hours of hands-on.
Okay.
So it'd be cool in the future. I'm not sure how that would look since we're still so young as a company to actually roll out a hands-on class, like bring a trailer full of garage doors out and have people cut. And
it'll get there.
We'll get there.
It'll probably grow faster than you think it will.
You know what I need is I need a new truck. I've decided.
I need Hold on, you just wanted to find an excuse to get a new truck.
Need a diesel truck because my truck's getting smoked by that big trailer.
Sure. It's like, I just need a bigger truck. It'll be fine.
I know, right?
So what are your plans for tomorrow then? Do you have any plans for tomorrow, or is it just more hanging out?
Honestly, tomorrow I'm going back home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I drove out here. I rented a car and drove out just for the thrill of it, honestly. So I have like a 14-hour drive to go home.
So long, nice day to drive back.
Yeah, lots of podcasts
But
tomorrow.
Score. Hey, you can catch up
I
on
think
that
I
a little
will.
bit.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll pop some on.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So I don't know what else to go over right now. There's a lot we can go over, but I know I want to save a lot of stuff for doing an actual full episode with you.
Okay.
So I'm trying to like filter through my head of really quick questions to like do instead. But so
you want to talk about last year, like how I came to be out here?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, so last year I discovered revolutionary fire tactics at the lake. It's a mouthful, right?
Yeah, it is.
Let's just call it RFT. I discovered RFT last year through Coastal Fire Training, who reached out to me through social media and recruited me, if you will, to be an instructor with them. So last year, this conference was at a different location, but still in Lake Ozark, obviously.
Yeah.
And I flew out with John and Eric and a couple other guys, and we put on the Coastal 8-hour through the lot class, which is kind of like where I started to cut my teeth on like being an instructor, like in doing stuff online. So that's how he noticed me. And then I fell in love with it after that conference and decided to start my own thing because I liked it so much. And here we are a year later. So I put in a request and David approved it, and it's been awesome, dude. I've been talking about the Ozarks event with my crew for like months now.
Oh yeah.
I demoed the class on them. They've had to sit through my class before. They're always making the videos with me. Hey guys, let's go out. Let's go shoot a reel or whatever. So I like to think that they appreciate it because they get a lot of extra training.
Yeah.
And they should be pretty well versed in the saw by now. I think
hopefully.
I think Firehouse 13 C shift is hopefully some of the best saw operators in the department. Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's just my little shameless plug.
Oh, shameless. That is just fine with me. I'm good with all the plugs.
Okay.
So do you get into more than just with the rotary saws? Do you like to get into other avenues, or is that the area you want to stay in for now?
That's actually a really good question. I wanted to stick with the rotary saw. And that's still our like I said, like our flagship thing.
Oh yeah.
It's like what we're known for. But I really love all things forcible entry. So I've kind of started to veer off into like through the lock stuff and like door size ups and things like that. So I think it's kind of silly and not, in a business sense, very smart to just pigeonhole yourself in like one discipline, right? So I'm trying to paint with like a broader stroke now and do it all. Like I gravitate towards truck stuff, even though I work at an engine company. So I do what I can for like, forcible entry and things of that nature. I don't think we'll ever go into like pulling hose or flowing or anything. That's not really my wheelhouse, I like it and I appreciate it. And I should because I'm a backseater on an engine.
Of course, but you have the expertise in a certain area of things.
Right.
And well, not even just the expertise, you have the passion behind the certain area of things.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that people are going to want to hear you teach about. That's going to be the stuff that you're going to be able to actually like get more into with them.
Well, and I'm not qualified. I mean, to teach engine company stuff or anything like that, right? I've been through the classes, and I like to think I'm a student of being a good nozzleman. But like you said, I mean, it's not my passion. So if I tried to teach it, it wouldn't be the same as delivering a product that I truly believe in, like through the lock or saws or anything like that.
And I know it's talked about a lot, and I don't know if I've said it with somebody else or if it was in one of the classes, I don't know, but the fire service can smell BS.
Yeah.
They can tell if you're not into it. They can tell if you're not passionate about it.
Isn't that the truth?
It is. It is so much the truth.
And I honestly think the secret to our success this first year, because we've Independent's been around for 1 year now. Okay. Like I founded it after I came back from Revolutionary last year.
That is cool.
I think the secret to our success and why we've been got such a following so quickly is that we just try to put out like quality original content, that we believe in, that we've tested and done, right? Like I'm not trying to just push out BS. I'm not trying to repost other people's crap. Like, I think if you put out good quality original stuff, like you're talking about no BS, people just gravitate towards it. They're like, okay, this guy gets it, or he's been down this road before, or like it's like genuine content.
Oh yeah. And it may take time to grow the business, to grow whatever you're starting, but the people who come into it will get so much more out of it because you're staying focused to what you actually believe in.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, man. It's been such a cool adventure to be on, and we're looking forward to the next few years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, it's been really good talking with you.
Yeah, you too.
Well, you guys, I hope you enjoyed listening to those interviews I had with all these phenomenal people in the fire service. It was so cool. Like I've said a billion times throughout while you were watching, it was extremely overwhelming, but in the best way. And there were so many people that I wanted to record episodes with. Timing just didn't work out. There's so much going on. There's so many people there. It's ridiculous. So for all the people I didn't get a chance to interview, I will get to you someday. I can't wait. A lot of us did have the chance to talk throughout the weekend. I don't know. I'm just excited for what the future holds with this, but I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Couplings Fire podcast. I don't know what's coming up next week, like I always say, but I know it's going to be a really fun one. So I'll catch you next time. See ya. Thanks for coming by and listening to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a rating and review wherever you're listening. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Couplings Fire Podcast. See you next time, everybody.